I'm using this device from almost 1 week. This is a completely new design phone from the Realme. So let's talk about all the pros and cons, all the features, and that you should know whether you should buy this device or not. Starting with the design of this phone is completely new compared to some of the recent launches of the Realme. This is a glass back phone, and all the phones till now, whatever Realme has launched, they are polycarbonate. So by one shot you can tell the difference. I mean, except this one, because these are the Realme special phones. Now if I just keep the 5 Pro here, you can easily see all the benefits of the glass. So no doubt this phone looks great, because obviously glass phones are beautiful. All the flagship phones, they come with the glass phone, but they do have their own pros and cons. So do check out the durability test of this phone. The link will be there on the description. Now this phone is lightweight, just 183 grams, and it fits nice in the hand because display is just not very big. 6.4 inches display is very pocketable. Yeah, it will take some fingerprint marks, but if you go with the white one, you're not going to notice much at all. If you're going with the blue one, yeah, you will see a lot of fingerprint marks there. Now let's start with the display. How's the display of this phone? So this is the full HD plus 6.4 inch. If I just show you a quick comparison with some other Realme phone like the Realme 5 Pro, so which is technically same, both have the same kind of display type, resolution, everything, but this is AMOLED, this is LCD. Now I don't need to tell you like difference between that. By looking here, you can exactly say AMOLED displays are more sharp. For example, this red, as you can see, if I just move this red here, so you can exactly say this red, I am seeing this is more brighter. Contrast is super sharp. This feels to me a little dull. So if you want the best display in terms of look, sharpness, contrast, you're watching a lot of videos, you're playing a lot of games, I mean everywhere the AMOLED display feels better. But if I compare it with the another Realme phone like the Realme X, you can see there is a notch. So this is your personal preference whether you like the notch or not. Speaking of the camera of the Realme XT, it's the quad camera setup that we earlier seen on the Realme 5 Pro. Now this time Realme has brought the 64 megapixel camera first time in India. This is the Samsung 64 megapixel sensor. Now overall quality of the 64 megapixel is really good. With lot of megapixel you get lot of details, but what I have seen, it is like the older Realme phones, they are not completely natural, they are slightly oversaturated. I mean, many people like this kind of photos, especially on the social media. These photos look great, but I kind of like the pixel way, completely natural way. It's again depends on personal preference. If you want this kind of saturated photos, so these photos will be great for you. Now obviously with the 64 megapixel you get a lot of details, you can zoom in, you can find a lot of cool stuff with that. Now next camera is the 8 megapixel ultra wide camera. Again, it is not a deal breaking, it depends on your personal choice. Like if you're taking a lot of photos, you don't want to move hands and forth, then obviously ultra wide will be helpful, and quality will not be exactly the same as 64 megapixel. You have to keep that thing in mind. 8 megapixel is a lot less compared to 64. Another 2 megapixel sensor is your dedicated macro lens. I'm going to take a quick photo of this compass here. Best I can see photos are okay. This is the best I can see photos is clear. So here's the difference. So this is the 64, this is the 2 megapixel, macro lens, right? And this is the 64 megapixel. Obviously, like if I zoom in, I can see a lot of details. Here I can see actually more accurate black color what I'm seeing there. So it depends on you. Like I said, if you do a lot of photographies, you want to take a lot of close-up shots, so this can be the best example for you though, using the macro lens. The last 2 megapixel sensor is the depth sensor. Using that you can take a lot of good portraits. So portraits are overall good. Speaking of the low light photographs, I am truly impressed with this phone because of the lot of megapixel. Lot of megapixel mean lot of pixel means lot of details. Take a look on the skies. You can even see the stars visible there, which you can see on the other phones too, but they are very minimal. More megapixel definitely helps a lot. There is a night mode feature available too. I mean, I personally don't feel night mode is very great. I mean, it looks like a canvas. It's like kind of paint job, and also it takes 5 seconds to take photo. On the front side, you will get a 16 megapixel selfie camera. There could be more because we can get a lot of phones with 32 megapixel at least, even with a lesser price than that. But hey, this is what you get, and photos are great. Contrast is slightly more on the Realme phones, especially from the front camera. That's what I have seen. You can film videos from the 720p, but prefer to go with the 1080p 30 frames per second. and videos are stable at 1080p 30 frames per second with the help of the EIS. And again, colors are slightly more oversaturated. I mean, it's not completely natural, that's what I want to say. It's not bad, but just depends on you what you like. And beyond that, you can go with the 1080p 60 frames per second with the, it's difficult to stabilize the more frame rates, especially on the budget phones. So 1080p 60 frames per second videos won't be as smooth as like the 1080p 30 frames per second. And on the top, at the last, you can film on the 4K 30 frames per second, so which is great. I mean, if you're preferring to make still videos, 4K gives you a lot of pixels, so do you get a lot of quality. You can zoom out, zoom in, it's better. On the slow motion side, you can film three kinds of slow motion. At the least, you can do 120 frame per second, which gives you the best quality slow motion. I mean, because this is a kind of HD, so you get a lot of better details. And on moving further, you can film up to 240 frame per second. Quality is satisfactory, so all the things are done on the broad daylight. At the last, you can do 960 frame per second super slow motion, which is limited to 10-second only clip. And selfie videos, I found some problem. I mean, it's not problem, maybe in the future they have fixed that. I have seen same problem with the realme X. It has been fixed by the OTA later. Dynamic range is not great, especially with the front camera. If there is a bright light on the behind, like I said, I film on the when there's a sun on my top, so photos are completely blown out on the behind the scene. When I just move to some shadows, again videos and details are okay. So maybe this can be fixed with a future software update. Let's talk about the performance of this phone. So here's a quick speed test just to show you in the real life, comparing with some other phones too. So I have taken some of the latest popular phones. Yes, I can do include the Snapdragon 675 on the Redmi Note 7 Pro, but that's slightly older. Just take a look on some of the good rivals like the Snapdragon 730 on the K20, and we have the best processor I have seen in this price segment, the Kirin 810. And we have some other Realme phones too included, the 5 Pro having the same processor, the Realme X having 710. Maybe it will help you decide like 710 versus 712 on the same device with the same ROM, how much difference will be there. Mi A3 stock Android phone with slightly lower powerful processor 6S5, but again it is the latest. So what I have seen till now by launching so many applications, I mean, the performance is really great. There is not a huge difference. If I just compare this with the 810 on the on a 9X, the 9X is always faster, but difference is very less compared to 730 on the K20. Again, difference is very less. If I just compare with the 5 Pro, both are neck and neck because they all are having the same RAM. Realme X with a slightly older 710 is doing great job. If you're playing PUBG, you can play on the high graphics with the HD settings. Beyond that, it is not possible. This is not HDR certified phone, so you can just play on the HD mode. So far, I haven't found any lag on that thing. There is no heating issues. Device is working perfectly great. So if you play a lot of games, go with the 6 or 8 GB. If you don't play games, you're just casual social media junkie and a lot of kind of thing, do browsing all the stuff, so 4 GB should be enough for you. So for everyday tasks, this device does great thing. On the 1 week, I haven't found like my device is being slowed down. Now guys, let's talk about the battery of this phone. I mean, this is really nice power bank. You guys remember the Nokia N9? This is exactly same bulky design phone, slightly curved inside. It feels great, and it has a dual output USB Type-C, 18-watt charging capability. I mean, this is really nice power bank. Okay, so this phone has a 3765 milliamps battery. It's not the best. You have other phones which do give you 4000 milliamps battery, but the good thing is that in the box you will be getting a 20-watt Vogue charger, and it does supports very fast charging. Check out the Realme X charging test, and I'm going to show you one of my recent complete usage. So right now it is 12%, and that's what you get when you charge your phone 100%. So this is your battery section. So as you can see, still 12% left, and I have the 5 hours 22 minutes of screen on time, and before to that I got around 6 hours screen on time. And just to give you guys a quick note, I am using this phone on the always on display board, so it does take some bit of batteries. This is what you have to keep in the mind. And I want to mention here again on the audio section, you do have the Dolby Atmos support both with the speakers and the headphone jack. So in the speakers you cannot turn off by default, but if you use the headphone you can turn off the Dolby Atmos if you want. Otherwise, if you don't want, it's really fine. If you're interested to know the software stuff here, so here's a quick look. Some new thing that Realme spoke about, like they are very soon providing the complete dark mode feature. It does have the always on display, but you cannot configure it. It's not very bright. I mean, if I just compare it with some other phones like the Samsung one, you can say this really is a bright. I mean, it feels great, but here it is just simple. So this device is running the Color OS 6, which is based on the Android Pie, and definitely you will be getting the Android 10. Beyond that, I don't know, but you should be getting Android 10 by the next year. So on the final word, what is the take with the Realme XT? See, on this price segment, the things they are giving like the AMOLED display, in-display fingerprint sensor, glass design, you can get on other phones too like the Mi A3. But if you want to get the better experience like the much better processor, more amount of RAM, you want to get more better latest camera like the 64 megapixel, you get all these things here. In the box, you will be getting the 20-watt charger, which is plus point. You don't need to buy it separately. And yes guys, it is true, we do have a lot of options available from the other brands too. So maybe we will compare that in the future. You know, every features we will compare. So far, Realme XT offers a lot of great feature on this price segment. Alright guys, so that's been it, 1 week with the Realme XT. If you have any concerns, queries, do let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.